Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you for our last session of GEG APAC Weekend Staying Connected 4.0. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nate, and I'm going to be here just to moderate a little bit backstage for Sudipta Chatterjee, who is going to be talking to you about Google Forms. Sudipta is an English teacher, been teaching for 17 years, lots of experience. Has some experience with technology and wants to share some of that she has, but has also pointed out that she's got a little bit more she wants to learn. So for me, I think this is a wonderful example of somebody taking a risk, putting themselves out there, and sharing what they've learned. And I think it's cool because that's the whole point of the weekend. We've got people all over Asia Pacific have been presenting since Friday night, and when this session's done, later on from 10 o'clock Japan Standard Time, 6:30 in India, and 9 p.m. in Southeast Asia, we're going to do a draw for 10 free Google Certified Educator exam vouchers and have a bit of a closing ceremony. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sudipta. I'm so happy that you're participating in this. It's been great to get to know you.
Thank you so much, Nate. Thank you so much for that fantastic introduction. And I must admit, I was just so relieved to see Nate joining in this session because I was going to do this solo. And then, so Nate was the knight in shining armor who decided to swoop in. And well, I'm feeling a lot at ease. So thank you so much. And it's just great to see, well, so many people joining in. And thank you so much. I know it's a Sunday evening. And I want to begin by thanking all the people who are here. I want to thank my family, my friends, my relatives, my colleagues from the English department, and my colleagues and friends of the teaching community from different schools. I also want to thank my former students. I know some of them are joining in today. And a special thanks to Nate and Man for organizing this. I think this is huge. And thank you so much for making us part of this initiative. I'm just really honored to be here today. I also want to thank a couple of more people. I want to thank my school, my alma mater, Delhi Public School, R.K. Puram, for making me who I am today. Actually, I'm here because of my school. And I want to thank my principal, Ms. Padma Srinivasan, who's made us so self-reliant. I also want to thank Dr. Narjeet Kaur, who is the trainer, and she's the GG leader from Amritsar in Punjab. I also want to thank Matthew Sir, who is part of the All India Educators Forum. And of course, a special thanks to all the IT teachers of my school who've really helped us, and helped us train. I want to thank Mr. Mukesh Kumar, who has really helped all of us become tech savvy, like they say, and brilliant at handling technology and multitasking. So, right, having said that, I'm just going to quickly take you through what I'm planning to do for today. Right. So the agenda for today is how to make a fun quiz with the help of Google Forms, how to generate certificates, and how to create a feedback form. And having said that, I'd like all of you to keep in mind that at the end of the session, I will be sharing 2 links with you. One, of course, as Nate had mentioned, would be the certificate, which would also help you to get the voucher for a Google Educator certification level exam. And that will also help you get the certificate. And I'll also be sharing a feedback form. So I'm going to be teaching you how to make a feedback form, then I'm going to give you a feedback form to fill so that, well, the teaching is complete. Right, so moving on, I think I'm going to start sharing my full screen now. You'll have to just give me a moment. Right, and I am going to keep checking my phone once in a while to see the comments, the lovely comments that I'm getting to see. So thank you so much, Follow Me, Rachna, Nate, Niza, Kavita, Sonia, Shia, Azia, Abha. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for all those lovely comments. Right, so let's begin with Google Forms. So I'm hoping that you can see my screen, and you can see the Google web page. So how to access Google Forms, you can simply type Google Forms, and I'm going to just quickly scroll down. Yeah. So this is one way of accessing Google Forms, or simply that's one way. Now let me also show you the other way. So if you can see, I'm already logged into my account. You can see my picture on the top right corner. And you can see these 9 dots, which is called a waffle. Yeah, I know. It made me hungry too the first time I heard it. So you can access Google Forms through the waffle as well. So you basically scroll down and there you go. The purple icon is Google Forms. So I'm going to go back to the previous one. Yeah. So if you look at this page, you will find that if you click on this, you can start off with a new Google form. And so a couple of things. Now, if you're planning to make a quiz, the first thing you do is, of course, give it a cool title, fun quiz. Well, I think it's an oxymoron because, well, if it's a quiz, it can't necessarily be fun. But yeah, fun quiz. I mean, for us teachers, it's a fun quiz because we kind of have fun preparing it. All right. Then I'm going to take you to settings. Okay, now you can see this icon here. When I click on this, I can make it into a quiz. And the general settings also ask me to click on collect emails. This is a smart thing to do because this is by default. Anyone who is attempting the Google form will have to put in their email IDs. It's up to you if you want to check on any of these response receipts, if at all you need that. Limit to 1 response, yes. If it's a quiz and you want the students to, well, obviously have 1 chance at it, so I think you can click on this checkbox. We as teachers would probably not want them to edit their responses after they submit, so I'm going to leave this just like that. And I'm going to go to quizzes. So this was general, presentation, and the third one is quizzes. And you click on this, the toggle option here. And well, they can either get to see their scores immediately after each submission or maybe later after manual review. I know a lot of teachers prefer doing that because they would just want to kind of wait till everybody has submitted the Google Forms and then perhaps discuss the questions with all the students. So let's keep it at that. I'm going to just zoom out a bit so that you can see my entire screen. Yeah. What is it that you'd want the respondents to see? That's your choice completely. Whether you want them to see the missed questions, the correct answers. That's, if you don't want them to see it, you just sort of uncheck the box. So that's totally up to you. So I'm saving this for the time being. Right. So the minute I make it into a quiz, you can see that this becomes a required question. You have to fill in the email ID before you begin with anything. And this is a fun thing, like if you can see the top corner here, it shows untitled form. So the minute I click on this, it's automatically just going to simply copy what's visible and what you've just typed as the form description. Here, of course, if you want to give some more details, perhaps you can mention it, perhaps the name of the lesson that you're doing or what you intend to do. All right, so now I am going to be teaching you Google Forms, but you see, I'm also going to be using the other Google Workspace options that we have with us. And the other one happens to be the Google Docs, which I'm using quite frequently. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. So I go to my Google Forms. So I have already typed out all the things that I want to put in my Google form. I'm going to tell you why this is helpful. One, it's going to remind me all the things that I have to put in the Google form. And of course, if it's a quiz and if it's for our students, we need to begin by giving the name. Oh, that's the feedback form, sorry. Yeah, so you see I'm back in the Google form again. And on the right-hand corner here, you see the plus sign. And the minute you click on the plus sign, you get to see one question. The prompt comes there. And well, the first and the obvious one is name. You want to know the students putting in, and you want the students to put in their names. And you see how this very smartly changes. When I was typing, it was showing MCQ, but it sort of identified that I want them to write the name. So it changes to a short answer question. And you can obviously toggle this option on and make it a required answer. You want to know who are the students who are attempting this. Then, of course, you move on to class and section. So you write class, and you can obviously give the option. So it's giving you the option that it's MCQ. You also have the option of making it into a checkbox. So just another fancy way of, well, using Google Forms. I'm making this a required option, and I'm again going to the plus sign, and now I'm going to add section. So in some schools, as you all know, there are a lot of sections. So it kind of helps if you have like a drop down, and then you can put in all the options. I'm just going to put a few for the moment, A, B, and perhaps X. Right. And of course, this automatically becomes an option which is required. Okay, now let me take you to the fun stuff. So what we can do is we can also divide it into sections. So if you see on the right-hand side, there's this, the last icon is of add section. The minute you toggle your cursor over it, you can actually see that it says add section. So I'm going to click on this. And the reason I'm doing this is because the first section is just going to have the details of the students, like email, name, class, and section. And then we move on to, we move on to the form and we start asking them questions. So maybe we can begin with MCQs. Okay, and let's have the first question in the MCQs. All right, I think I need to scroll down a bit so you can see it clearly. Right, now this is where my Google Docs is coming in handy, because I go back to my Google Docs, and as you can see, I've already typed out the question. So it's easy for me. I'm just going to simply, just copy paste it. And I'm coming back to my quiz, and I'm just simply pasting it. So this is obviously a smart thing to do. That way I'm kind of saving time. I'm saving time right now, because if I start typing out all the questions, you are definitely going to go get bored. And so I want to show you all the fun stuff. Okay, now this was the fun thing to keep in mind. Now I have 4 options, right? So I simply, Command C. And this is a smart thing. Now I am just going to click here and see the magic. So when I click on option 1 and I paste, you see how it automatically takes the option of all 4. And that just saves you time, because you don't have to copy paste on each individual. You don't have to copy paste for each individual multiple choice option. So this is a really smart thing. And because I have already made it into a quiz, it's going to prompt me to give the answer to. And when I click on the answer key, it's just going to ask me to choose whichever is the correct answer. Well, I think I'm going to go with the pretzels, and I'm going to give you 1 point if you, choose it correctly. And that's done. So that's my first question, and that's done. All right, coming back. Now, this is something that I thought was fun. So it's called Spot the Errors. Okay. So I'm going to add another question. And I'm going to add an image here now. So I'm going to browse, and I think I have it in my, I have it in my desktop. So I'm just quickly uploading this image from my desktop. If you have it in your drive, you can upload it from there too. All right, so what do you see? So I have just uploaded a picture. Now, this is a very interesting way of testing writing skills for English teachers. This is something that we love to do. So you basically give them the writing skill, and you give them all the wrong formatting, and you just ask them to, spot the errors. Now, this is something that's used in a lot of subjects, like in mathematics, in computer science, chemistry. So where teachers are just uploading the screenshots, and that becomes easy. So we can even do that for English. And then we can just give the options, make it into a multiple choice. So I have already typed it out so that it's faster. Now, as you can see, I have the options here. So I'm simply going to Command C and come back to my quiz. And you'll see the magic happening again. Aha. So you see, I don't have to keep typing the options or copy pasting it separately. The minute I'm pasting it in the first option, it's automatically taking all those 4 options. All right, so now I'm going to obviously click on answer key and first make this It's going to be 1 point, of course, 1 mark. And I'm going to choose this as the correct answer and click done. Also, remember, once you're done making the question, make sure to toggle this on, make it required, so that you know that the students will have to attempt this, right? So now we come to more fun things. What is it that we can do? We can perhaps even incorporate another section, and we call it, let's say, watch and learn. And we add a question here. So if I scroll down, okay, let's see what is my next question. Which picture best describes how the author feels at the end of the lesson? Fun stuff. I'll show you how we can make it fun for the students also, and not just fun for us teachers. Okay, so now for this, what you can do is, now when you click on the first option, you see this icon for add image. And when you click on this, you can do a Google image search, and this is really helpful. So I can search for, well, happy, and choose something that kind of links to the lesson that I'm doing. So let's see, maybe I like this picture. So maybe insert this. As you can see, this pop up here, which says insert, then you insert this. And voila, you have a beautiful picture right here. And similarly, you can choose different emotions which you want the students to analyze, and then perhaps, choose the correct answer. So unhappy, was the poet happy? Was the poet unhappy? Okay, so this is showing unhappiness to some extent. Okay, let me scroll down and see. And do remember that the images that you get to see here are actually free images. So you can, choose them without feeling bad. Okay, this shows unhappy. So I'm going to go with this. This is, again, very effective, as you know, that for schools in India, CBSE is emphasizing on how there has to be more discussion-based and analysis-based multiple choice questions. So the children need to be present in the classroom, whether it's online or offline, and they need to participate in the discussions so that they know the essence of the poem, they know the mood of the poet or the tone of the author, which I feel is very essential. I'm going to give you one more, angry perhaps. And okay, so you'll have to choose the best picture, which sort of shows anger, and which is going to be also something that's appropriate for students. And I'm not sure if I want to give this bunny rabbit, but yeah, he just looks cute, but he's surely angry. All right, so this is another fun way of okay, because this is just an example, I'm just giving you 3 because I want to move on to the next. So I'm just going to show you what to mark. You first make this 1, and then choose whichever you think should be what the students analyze and the picture that they associate with how the author feels. Okay, and then another fun thing that we can do is putting in videos. So like in class also, I like to put in, show them videos and then ask them to sort of interpret the poems, and then ask them to, make the analysis and make the connection. I also ask them the context. Why do you think I showed what I showed you? So we can even show them a picture. So I have this link already. This is one of the links which I took from YouTube, of course. And so I'm going to add one more question here. Sorry, I'm going to put this in the, here. And I'm going to simply ask them to, or actually I can put it here. Hold on a second. I'll put the question here. Sorry, butter hands. Yeah. So I'm going to put this here so that they can view the video, because I want to put a question out here for them. And simply copy pasting, watch the video and answer the questions that follow. And go back to my quiz. I'm going a little slow so that you can sort of see what I'm doing. And click here. Oops. Right. So when you're working with technology, well, it's hit and trial. You have to learn certain things on your own. And okay, I'm going to remove this from here. Otherwise, they wouldn't know what to do. Just a second. Sorry, I'm going to go back and choose my link, the Harry Potter link, which I wanted them to see. So I'm just going to paste it here. Right. And then I'm going to ask them questions based on what they see. So the question reads like this. On the basis of your understanding of the video that you just watched, which of the following statements is not true? Okay. Okay, as you can see, I'm messing this up a bit. I'm sorry. I will just fix that. So we go back to the question here, and I'm going to just, leave it like that. And then I'm going to put the next question. A little bit of space. And then we can have the options. Go back to the Google form, the Google Doc. Copy the questions, and you're back here to your fun quiz. Right. So now, depending on what you want, you can just choose and make that as a question, make that as done. So the one thing that you need to remember when you are doing the fun quiz is that the children are just going to enjoy the different techniques you're going to use to test the Google form, the quiz in different ways, right? And I'm going to quickly see the comments. Great. So I'm going to just check as to what people are writing. Oh, how nice. It's so lovely to see everybody. Ritu Bhandari, Rachna, Archana, Man, great to see you. Dr. Nurjit, thank you so much for being here today. And I'm going to also quickly share the link to the feedback form as well as the certificates a little later, perhaps, because I want to teach you a couple of more things. So this is, some aspect of the Google form which we can make interesting for our students. And now I'm going to take you to something a little more exciting. I'm going to open another form. Like I said, I'm going to show you. So we scroll down and we go to Google Forms. I'm going to now show you how to make a certificate. Now this comes in really handy. Okay, we can just call it demo certificate. Right. Now, if you see, there's this one icon. This you will not see on your Google form if this has not been activated yet. It's called an add-on. So I'm going to show you how to add an add-on. So if you click on the three dots here, right next to your profile picture, you scroll down and you can see the add-ons here. So when you click on add-ons, okay, this is just going to take a second to show. Right. So here you see you can search for apps, and I'm going to teach you how to do Certify M today. Okay, now for my email ID, the one that I'm using at the moment, this is already installed, right? So it's showing installed. So if I click on it, it's already installed, right? So here, what is showing me as uninstall, it'll show you as install. So kindly keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of this. So the minute you install it, you'll find this icon, the add-on icon, right? And you can create your form and you can create, automated certificates through the Google Forms. Now for this, you can also utilize Google Slides, which is going to come in handy because we would also want to, modify the certificates based on the event for which we need it. Okay, let me just keep this on, and I'm just going to quickly create a sample. So for that, you just type for Google Slides, free online presentation. So here you will find that there are a couple of templates which are available. Now you see you have a template gallery, and it gives you a lot of options. Now I can see this, and I'm going to click on this first. I'm going to quickly take you through this, not spend too much of time creating a certificate, but at least letting you know how you can kind of link the two things up. Okay, so as you can see on the right-hand side, there are a lot of themes here, and Ritu Bhandari has joined, and she and Renu Malhotra had taken this fantastic session on Google Slides, so you can actually see that and get tips on how to go about making fantastic Google Slides. So I'm not touching upon Google Slides. I'm just going to tell you how to link up the two. Right, so as you can see, there are a lot of themes on the right-hand side. So say, for example, I click on black. I love black. Okay, and of course, this you can all change. Of course, you modify this, and you can change this to say for participating. Sorry, I have to type this out. Let's make it book cover design. We love doing book cover design activities in school. Okay, so for participating in the book cover design activity, so we can make this into certificate of appreciation. This, of course, we would like to enlarge. This should be sort of coming right on top. And okay, now this is the part that all of you need to keep in mind so that the link with your Certify M just happens very smoothly. What you need to do is just make this, just write full name. And the full name has to be put in curly brackets. So curly brackets behind, curly brackets in the front. We can reduce the font size a bit. Okay. Okay, then we can change this. Okay, maybe not have the school name, just have Saturday, and just put it as, it was 3rd yesterday, so make it 3rd July 2021, right? And okay, let's just add some color. Let's see if we can add some color. Okay, just let's make it, I like this blue. Okay, so now this is a very basic template done on Google Slides, right? How do you modify it? You can, of course, put your school logo, excuse me, or if you are doing a webinar, you can perhaps put a logo that you've created for yourself. So let's just name this as my certificate. Okay, and this is automatically saved in my drive. It's there in my drive. Okay, so quickly to remind you, what is it that we did? We just modified it a little bit. The only thing I have done is put full name in curly brackets, double curly brackets in the front and double curly brackets at the back. Now I'm going to come back to my form, the demo certificate form, right? And the first thing, of course, to do is I go to settings and I click on collect emails, and I'm going to save this because it's going to automatically collect the emails, right? And I am going to also now, so this add-on icon is now visible. So I'm just going to click on that. And as you can see, it's going to prompt me. It's going to ask me, Certify M. I'm going to say yes. Okay, wait a second. I have to first give it a question here. Okay. Full name. And of course, make it a short answer and make it a required question. This is good enough for certificates. If you want to add more information, you can easily do that. But if not, you can just ask them for the email and the full name, right? Okay, now we click on Certify M. Okay, this is supposed to, okay, this decided to bail on me. Okay, apparently there seems to be some kind of an issue here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you another certificate that I'd already prepared. I'm going to quickly take you to my drive, and I'm going to show you how this works. Okay. So I'm going to click on demo certificate. Oh, that's the same one. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm pretty new to this. So I'm learning as I'm going through. So this one, yeah. So this one, okay, I'm showing you this form. So I'd already prepared this. And as you can see, this has 3 responses. I'm clicking on Certify M. Let's see if, okay, finally. So in this form, as you can see, it's showing you the Show Certify M controls. And when I click on this, it's going to take a few seconds. Yeah. All right, so thankfully, technology is not bailed on me this time. All right. Okay, so let me just quickly show you what all options you'll find. So first of all, it'll ask you whether or not you want to, keep the certification on. So you say yes, switch it on. So make sure that this is on. This is important. Okay, let me just zoom in a bit so that you can see. Now for the passing, as you can see, if you click on this, there are a lot of options. Now, in a lot of webinars, you would have seen that your certificate and the feedback form is linked. So when you fill up the feedback form, they also ask you a couple of questions based on the webinar, right? So if they do that, then they are going to sort of make it into a quiz. And if you are able to answer correctly and you sort of get at least 30% or 40% answers correct, then you get the certificate. Now, since we're creating it for maybe an event where we just want to hand out the certificates to all participants, we can keep this as 0%. And we can go down, scroll, and click on, okay, now these are the samples which are provided by, as you can see, black frame, brown frame, samples provided by Certify M. But since we've already worked on a template of our own, therefore, we are just going to scroll down and use a custom template. So I'm just going to select, okay, I'm going to go with this. And I'm going to save the changes. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to, first of all, send it to myself and see if it's working. So as you can see here, when I click on send, you have all these options. You can include the form in the email. You also get to fill up a message here. So you simply write to, I'm sending it to myself, and you click on send. Okay. So I'm going to see whether or not it's visible in my inbox. Okay, it's just going to take a few seconds. Aha. So as you can see, it's in my inbox. And I've been asked to fill out a form. So I'm just going to show you quickly. So this is required, remember? So I have to put my correct email address. If I don't put the correct email address, then I do not get my certificate. Make sure to put in your full name correctly, contact number. Now, of course, this is something that I will talk about. This is the linear scale, which we kind of put in the feedback form. So I'm going to show that to you. So how did you find the session on a linear scale? So, well, you can say, it was okay, not that great. Feedback, okay. And I submit. Okay, and it says, thank you for your submission. I'm going to go back to my email. I'm going to just wait a couple of seconds, refresh my browser, and check. And reload, and there it is. Your certificate is here. And let me just show you. So there you go. Certificate of participation, and so this is the very basic template, but this is an automated certificate. So it sort of immediately goes, and if you have a regular Gmail account, you can send about 100 certificates. And that is like the fun thing about certificate and Certify M. So this, I feel, is a very effective way to generate certificates. And so I'm coming back to my demo certificate here, which I was working on. And as you can see, I'm going to quickly show you how to create the linear scale. Okay, so you click on linear scale, and it'll ask you, so you want to have a scale of 1 to 5, or you want to make it a scale of 1 to 10? That is your choice. So like if I say rate the seminar or rate the webinar, and 1 being satisfactory, or you can even make it poor, but satisfactory is a safe bet. 10, of course, is going to be excellent, fantastic. So this is how you create the linear scale. And of course, you can make this as a required question. The other thing that I want to quickly show you before we actually wrap up the session, because we have the closing session at 6:30 today, which I definitely want to attend. Right. So this was the other one that was kind of fascinating for me. This was the multiple choice grid. So now this depends on what kind of questions you want to ask, right? So the columns would be the vertical ones and the rows are the horizontal ones. So you can probably ask them about experience, and you can say good. And then you can talk about perhaps audience response. Okay. So I'm just going to show you, okay, maybe I'll add one more content. Satisfactory. Okay. So when you click on this, you have to make sure that you are answering all, right? And of course, I have to turn this into a quiz and save. That's going to give me the answer here. So I would like them to answer all. Okay. And so I click and I click. So no matter what they are choosing, they need to choose at least one, and that's how you're done. So this is basically just a very basic feedback form. As a matter of fact, I'm going to quickly see what is it that you people are writing to me. I see a lot of comments and messages coming in. Great. So I'm going to now quickly share with you the feedback form. Okay, it's a nice and long one, which I'd like all of you to fill up. And along with that, I'm also going to send you the link for the certificate. Okay, back to my StreamYard. So that's the feedback form, and I'm going to also share the link for the certificate. So this is just Google Forms, and just a short and sweet version of it. I know most of you out there are already using Google Forms, and you are doing a fantastic job of using them in the classroom. So I have shared both the links with you, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Right, and I'm going to add Nathan to the stream. Hey, Nate.
That was fabulous. Like, you are such a natural, Sudipta. That was great. Mon and I were having a little back channel chat going on there, and we were like, "Yeah, all right, she's cool. She's got this." So, yeah, you were saying earlier you were a little bit nervous, but Mon and I are both convinced that you're pretty natural with this. So you'll find your feet and keep doing this a lot more, I hope. Thank you for this session. That was great.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for thank you so much to everybody who's joined in, and thank you, Nate, and thank you, Man. And I think we are right on time to move on to our next session. So I'm going to give them a little bit of time to fill up the feedback form, as well as fill up the certificate, so that they get the automated certificate. And I think there was something about a voucher, if you would like to tell them about it.
Sure, yeah. From 6:30 Indian Standard Time, 10 o'clock p.m. in Japan, where I'm at, 9 o'clock everywhere else in between. We're going to have a closing ceremony. We've got some numbers, we've got some stats and data for you, which we'll add this session as well in a few minutes. And following that, after we have a little chat with our panel, we are going to do a raffle for 10 people to win a voucher for the Google Certified Educator Exam Level 1. It's an English language exam. This is the English language group, of course. And then we'll wrap things up and get excited for the next time we do this and be really thankful. So
Yes,
that's about
absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining in. I see Kakuli, I see Polami, I see Man and Dr. Nurjeet, of course. So thank you so much for those comments, and I love all of you, and bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.